The lights beamed down on the squared circle as two proud nations held their breath. Mark Magsayo, the pride of the Philippines, stepped through the ropes with that trademark fire in his eyes, a blend of focus, speed, and ferocity in every step. Across from him stood Mexico's Eduardo Ramirez, but coiled like a snake, ready to strike. There was no fear in his expression, only purpose. The bell rang, and instantly the air exploded with anticipation. Magsayo sprang into action with quick footwork, bouncing on his toes as he fired a stiff jab, cracking through Ramirez's guard. The Mexican stalked him, hands high, chin tucked, pressing forward like a tank. Ramirez wasn't in a rush. He was measuring, watching, learning Magsayo's rhythm. But Magsayo wasn't waiting. He slipped to the side, dug a hook to the body, and spun off the center line like a matador escaping a charging bull. Ramirez nodded, accepting the challenge, and responded with a crunching left to the ribs that echoed in the arena. The second round saw the pace ramp up. Magsayo, light on his feet, moved like a blur, launching quick 1-2s, circling left, then snapping back right with a right hook that caught Ramirez clean on the jaw. The Mexican didn't budge. He absorbed it like a man made of steel and came forward with a brutal flurry to the body, ripping hooks under Magsayo's elbows. The Filipino adjusted quickly, planting his feet and firing a thunderous uppercut that nearly lifted Ramirez's head. The crowd gasped. But Ramirez wasn't done. He came roaring back with a looping left that clipped Magsayo's temple. They were in it now, a firestorm of fists. By round 3, the rhythm had shifted into a chess match with violence. Magsayo used the full ring, pivoting out of tight spots, tagging Ramirez with clean shots while staying just out of range. But Ramirez was hunting. He wasn't just walking forward, he was cutting off angles, forcing Magsayo to move into danger. Then it came a perfectly timed left hook from Ramirez that rocked Magsayo's head back. The Filipino gritted his teeth, regrouped, and came back with a rapid fire combination that lit up Ramirez's face. Sweat flew with every punch. The fight was now toe-to-toe, shot for shot. Every punch had weight, every second had tension. Round 4 was pure chaos. Magsayo exploded out of his corner with urgency, landing a right-hand flush on Ramirez's jaw. Ramirez staggered just for a second, but kept his balance. Magsayo smelled blood. He launched a barrage of punches, left hook, right uppercut, left to the liver, trying to break him down. Ramirez wobbled again, but refused to fall. The man was granite. Then, from nowhere, Ramirez landed a counter left hook that stopped Magsayo in his tracks. Suddenly, the hunter became the hunted. Ramirez surged forward, throwing bombs, driving Magsayo into the ropes, but Magsayo fought back with grit, dodging and firing with the heart of a lion. The fans were on their feet. This wasn't just a fight, it was a war. In round 5, both fighters slowed, but the intensity never dropped. Magsayo's footwork remained razor sharp, allowing him to set traps and pivot around Ramirez's advances. He peppered Ramirez with jabs, mixing in feints and fast combinations. Ramirez kept pressing, aiming to slow Magsayo with bodywork. A brutal left hook to the ribs made Magsayo wince ever so slightly, a small victory for the Mexican. But Magsayo responded with a stunning right hand upstairs that rocked Ramirez again. The Mexican's legs buckled momentarily, but again, he stayed on his feet. What kept him upright? Guts, pride, and an iron will. The exchange at the end of the round was furious, both men swinging for the fences, refusing to be outdone. The 6th round brought exhaustion into play. Their faces were marked with bruises, their breathing heavier now. Magsayo still had snap in his punches, but Ramirez was wearing him down with relentless pressure. He pushed Magsayo to the ropes, pounding the body with hooks, then launching a heavy right upstairs. Magsayo fought off the ropes with sharp counters, turning the tide momentarily. Then Ramirez landed a sneaky uppercut through the guard that snapped Magsayo's head back again. The bell rang, and both men touched gloves, not out of kindness, but respect. Mutual admiration forged through shared pain. Round 7 began. With tactical adjustments, Magsayo began doubling the jab, using his lead hand not just to strike, but to disrupt Ramirez's rhythm. He mixed in uppercuts and began attacking the body more, slowing Ramirez's forward march. Ramirez responded with a shift in tempo, faking the jab and sneaking overhands that just barely missed. Then Magsayo unleashed a beautiful four-punch combo: jab, cross, hook to the body, and a right hand upstairs. It was brilliant, clean, textbook execution. Ramirez gritted through it, encountered with a left hook that stopped Magsayo's momentum. The crowd roared once more. These were warriors putting it all on the line. The 8th round saw Magsayo regaining control. He danced around Ramirez with renewed energy, snapping the jab into his face repeatedly, drawing blood from the nose. Ramirez still pressed forward, but was beginning to show signs of fatigue. Magsayo went back to the body, digging with precision, then exploded upstairs with a cross that nearly sat Ramirez down. The Mexican grabbed the ropes, then fired back defiantly. Both men were running on fumes, but refused to let the other see it. The round ended with another slugfest, the kind that makes highlight reels and legends. By round 9, it was pure. Heart on display. Magsayo started with a bang, landing a triple jab followed by a missile of a right hand. Ramirez stumbled but stayed upright, throwing wild haymakers back. The fatigue was real now. Arms moved slower, guards dropped. But there, will was unbreakable. Magsayo caught Ramirez with a left hook that turned his head, then followed with a punishing flurry. Ramirez backed up, only to come back swinging with brutal intent. Magsayo slipped a big shot, then countered with a clean uppercut that made the crowd gasp. Somehow Ramirez kept coming. The round ended with both men breathing heavy, sweat pouring, eyes locked, neither giving an inch. The 10th and final round arrived, and both corners knew this one could go either way. There were no secrets now, no tricks left, just pride, instinct, and guts. Magsayo opened with sharp combos, peppering Ramirez from the outside, staying smart, disciplined, and calculated. But Ramirez, with a heart the size of Mexico, surged forward with one last furious charge. He pinned Magsayo against the ropes and unloaded with everything he had. Body, head, repeat. Magsayo answered with counters, slipping and firing, refusing to be broken. They traded savage hooks in the dying seconds, blood and sweat flying through the air under the bright lights. The bell rang, and they stood chest to chest, exhausted, bruised, but unbowed. As the judges tallied the scorecards, the fighters stood in their corners, battered but proud. The crowd, roaring in approval, understood what they had just witnessed. This wasn't just a boxing match. It was a battle between warriors representing the legacy of their nations. It was about heart, grit, and sacrifice. The final decision was read, and regardless of the outcome, both men were winners in the eyes of the crowd. Magsayo's speed and precision had lit up the ring. Ramirez's toughness and relentless drive had kept it close until the very last punch.